energy on that innovation timeline, and where are we headed? Are we headed to real conversation? Is there anything now that I could just talk to for 5 minutes that I hate to use the word Turing test, but
you should
something like that?
you should go to with our chatbot. I think you chat much more longer than 5 minutes. It's easily for 10, 15 minutes, because our longest one was 3.5 hours, right? So it's a what's the job interview chat, and then some candidate, which we ended up hire her as well, and really gave a very extensive responses to the chatbot's question, and they had this back and forth of the one, right? I think you are actually in majority in terms of you're not using theory, you're not using a one. It's because of the quality of the conversation. Again, as I said earlier, it's a very similar. Computer doesn't matter it's a AI or not AI. It's just a tool, right? If the tool doesn't help you, you're not going to use it, right? So if that tool truly helps you, I bet you will use it. So example, if a theory can understand 80% of your one, if you ask Siri to say, hey Siri, today I'm so busy, can you just check, like I'm using an example of myself, right? I'm looking for a particular plant on this dry shade corner. Can you make some recommendations? If the Siri knows me to say, knows about dry shade and knows me about the particular color, style, particular location, gave me some recommendations. Of course, I will use it. I will use probably every day, not every hour, but every day, right? So the reason it is, I wouldn't ask Siri because I knew Siri would not be able to answer it, right? So that's about its and then to set expectation, it's about the tool. I think I learned from a previous IBM actually software executive. It's very nice three simple rules when you create a tool like this one. First one has to be called prescriptive, which is telling you what it can do, right? Can be second one. I remember is has to be open, which means that they can also keep learning, right? So if you, let's say Siri doesn't know something, you teach Siri actually knows it. Hey, got me interested in. I will continue using it because it continue. So that's how we made our tool like that one too. You teach very little bit. Oh, it's actually improved immediately, right? That's why people love that. And the last part of it is it has to be easily integrated. So which means it is now you say today Siri doesn't know about my plants, doesn't know the knowledge. If I point to Siri to say, look at those websites. They are actually the websites selling plants. Do that. And if Siri can do that, perfect. I will use it again. So this about this openness, about integrability, about this prescriptive. It's important, but most of them don't have that. So when you create a tool, the tool needs to be useful and usable, right? I always use this U2, 2U, U2, whatever you say, U square, which means useful and usable. If it's one of them doesn't have it, and people are not going to use it, will be abandoned it. So that's why we also talk to the supervisor, our clients. They said you will be the supervisor of your AI. Don't abandon your AI. It's almost like adopt a child, right? If you abandon your AI assistant, your assistant will be abandoned.